My goodness. Guys, one
How
more
we
time.
feeling?
Sammy Wilk's right here. Make some noise. Make some noise.
What up, guys?
Round of sound.
Hell yeah.
Good morning, man, and welcome. Thank
Good morning,
you so
man.
much for
Thank
being
you. I
here.
appreciate it.
I appreciate you taking time. I know you're super busy. You got so much going on right now. How are you doing, man? You doing all
Good.
right?
Yeah, I'm keeping up. New York is very fast-paced, but it's fun.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Everyone's walking so damn fast. Everyone. It's like, all right.
That's just, we
Go
live
ahead.
at that pace, man. That's just where we function.
I don't
it's
get
just
it.
on the go.
Is it like comfy doing that?
I don't know if it's comfy, but we've all agreed that that's what we're going to do now. That's
Fair
it.
enough.
That's
I
just
get
where
it.
we're at.
I get it.
So you're used to the laid-back vibes on the other
Yes.
coast then? Yeah.
Yes.
You brought some of that with you, though, right? Bless you.
I've tried, yeah. I've tried. Bless you.
Well, maybe lie, but there's always time for manners. You've got
Exactly.
So, yeah, also, speaking of bringing those vibes with you, I saw you were rolling, you had your whole family with you, man. That's got to be
Yeah,
awesome, right?
shout out Mom and Dad back there.
There you go.
And Uncle Brian. That's my Uncle Brian. Hi, Uncle.
Is that typical when you hit the road, man, to be able to bring the whole crew with you and be with your whole family
I
like
try.
Yeah.
As much as I can. Usually I have my sister with me. She couldn't make it this time.
that? Oh, bummer.
But yeah, I got 3 siblings, so whenever they can come,
It's nice.
it's the best. Yeah.
Keep the family. It's like one big vacation.
Exactly. All the time.
That's nice, man.
Yeah,
Talk
fun.
to me a little bit about, I know you got BeautyCon coming up this
Yep.
weekend. You super excited about that, right?
Yeah, super stoked about BeautyCon. Are you guys coming? Anybody?
Oh.
You're coming?
I
see it,
see
see
there's
it, yeah.
one really, you got
Oh, you
one
are?
over there. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm really excited. It's my first time, like, for my clothing line, having a pop-up shop, or it's a booth.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited. We only got like 50 hoodies left.
I was going to say, there's stuff available there, right? Because
Yep.
you can't get them online
Yep,
right
they're
now.
all sold out. It's the last like 75, I think there is. So if you guys do come and you want a hoodie, make sure you get one.
That's the best
I
bet
see you,
right now.
Mom. Come on, Mom. You need one. Mom, you look good in one, a black one. You look good.
That's got to be, you got 75 left. That's got to be exciting. Were you guys anticipating to blast through your first run and all that and stuff like that? Did you know the demand was going to be so hot?
Honestly, I didn't really know how like everyone
Yeah.
would take it, but it was like the highest quality merch or like line I've ever done. So I was excited to see how people took it, and they loved it, I think. So
Yeah, because you've been around for a minute now. You've done merch before, but this is
Yeah.
the first time you've operated at this level.
Yeah.
What was sort of the inspiration behind that? What led you into wanting to design and do this?
honestly, I just liked I got to a point where I was wearing everybody else's clothes, and I was just like, why don't I just wear my own clothes and make my own stuff? Like there's like certain pieces I'd wear and be like, I don't like how they like did that there. I'd rather just have it here. And so I was like, wait, why don't I just make that? And so me and my buddy Devin, we designed the stuff, and yeah, it was just like, it's just cool, like streetwear stuff. I have a lot of like new stuff, like sweatpants coming out, t-shirts, all sorts of stuff. So
Talk to me about
tuned.
yeah, there's some excitement out there. Talk a little bit about the idea behind the design, the significance of the 2 stakes on the arms, and just kind of where you guys came up with all those thoughts.
yeah, so it was a lot of just like collab, and me and Devin are like creatively on the same exact level. So, but the 2 stripes, it's 2 stakes, and the way we thought about it is like if you get handed a stake, most people like stick the stake in the ground, and that's kind of like the idea of it is to hold your ground and like do what you do is right, and don't let other people try to like sway you. Yeah. And so that was like really why we put stakes right here, and there's 2 of them because it's like me and you, us, we can do this together type of thing. So it's like it's a cooler, deeper meeting. You know what I mean? It's really cool. So
It is really cool, man. You kind of teased that there's some sweatpants coming and stuff
Yep.
like that. So you guys are looking to blow it out and do some more, of course. Are there new designs coming, new ideas coming down the pipe? Anything you can tease?
Yeah,
Some
absolutely.
stuff that you guys have been focusing on and talking
Yep.
about.
Yep, yeah. We have a bunch of, like, we got like 30 new designs. Now I just got to roll it
Wow,
out. Yeah,
30.
we got a lot of, yeah. So we got to figure out the rollout plan, and then once that's ready, then we're going to start dropping it.
That's
And
pretty
it's
exciting.
very limited, so make sure you guys get on it if you guys want to rock it. So, yeah.
What do you think about the fan response so far? I mean, obviously everybody loves it, but just doing some research and whatnot before you were coming in, I was looking through the feed, and there are tons of posts of people super excited, doing little mini fashion shoots, all that sort of stuff. What's it feel like to see stuff like that when people start putting that out there?
It's so sick. And just, like, seeing them happy, like they're like,
Right.
look what came in the mail. Like, I'm just like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, they're seeing their excitement is amazing. So, I mean, it's just cool to see, like, what you thought would work actually work. Like your vision is like coming to life. So once that starts happening, it's just sick. It's an amazing feeling. Shout out you guys. whoever got one.
For sure. Talk a little bit more. I'm curious about the process in terms of like, I want to tighten this up, I want to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So did you guys at that point seek out, I don't know, a seamstress? Like what are the industry terms here? Like how do you guys know what to tighten, what not to tighten? Because you don't want to end up making a hoodie that looks cool but doesn't feel right. Like there's a lot to balance and figure out and learn.
So how it goes down is we design it, and then we it goes to the manufacturer, and we get like 24 samples, and it gets sent to me. And then when I'm like wearing it, I figure out like if this is too big right here, or too small. Like when we send them out to you guys, like I'll figure out like, yo, let's make this an inch smaller on both sides, or like let's make the stripes longer, or whatever it may be. But yeah, it's kind of just like just trial and error, and like figuring out what works best with like or like what you like. You just fix it. And for example, on the Power of Love hoodies that we got, they were too big, so like it was like the words were too big.
Yeah.
But we still like did that in the photo shoot, but it just didn't look right. And so that's why I wish I could have fixed that prior to the photo shoot. But yeah, like little stuff like that, you just figure it out.
Do you have a box at home with like 75 or like 120 hoodies that just like didn't make the cut? It's just
No, we got lucky.
Alternate hoodies that like never made it into the wild?
No, we got lucky. I have like 10, but it's like
fair enough.
Yeah, but there's like loose strings or like something went wrong. But yeah, no, that's only a few.
How do you feel? I imagine, like you said, you've done merch before, but like this is a different level for you. What do you think of like this creative process and how it compares to some of the other stuff you've done in the past? You know, working on your music, your videos, things of that nature. This is a whole new kind of avenue to kind of get this deep into it.
Yeah, 100%. And it's a lot of like research and like seeing what's going on, trends that are happening, and you always got to be like a step ahead. Right. And so, because like fashion designers are like 2 years ahead, or 2 years ahead. And so you kind of got to like figure out the trends that have happened the past years and kind of like work towards that and like figure out what the next part is. And like I said, you got to be one step ahead. Because I'm like, you know, super people or like people that are huge in fashion, you're like, what the hell are they wearing? But in 6 months, like everyone's wearing that. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. So it's like it's a super like confusing industry, but it's fun to like figure it out and just like create. Like I said, me and Devin, we just bounce ideas back and forth super easily, and it's just fun to see like what works and what doesn't.
Is there ever a fear that like you figured out or you think you figured out what's going to be coming in the next 6 months, but then like what if you're wrong?
Like just completely off.
Yeah. What if people just don't want hoodies anymore? Never going to happen. But like, was there like a weird little thought in the back of your head?
Yeah.
That, like,
I mean, there's always doubts of like,
yeah,
is this just whack or is this like never going to work? But that's the price you pay of just in this industry. Like, it's kind of a guessing game.
How committed are you? What if something really, really weird? What if like turtlenecks come back in a huge way and you don't really dig them? Are you on it? Are you gonna make the flyest turtleneck anybody's ever seen?
Dude, are you kidding me? We'll all be wearing turtlenecks. My mom would love that probably if we're all wearing turtlenecks. She was big on the turtlenecks back in the day. But yeah, of course. I mean,
no disrespect to turtlenecks. It's a totally fine garment. I'm just saying, like, you know, especially on a day like today, I'm just trying to pick something out of the air.
Yep.
Yeah, what if you had to make it work? Like,
yeah, you find a way. You know what I mean? You find a way to make it work. But yeah, turtlenecks. I don't know if that'll ever be like a huge thing again.
I don't know, man.
Was it ever even a huge thing in the first
I just saw a thing the other day that like man rompers are really big now, man.
Is that real or is that fake? Is that real?
I don't know if it's real. I mean, it was in an article on the internet that's as real as I need it to be at this point, I suppose.
I saw that. I don't know if that's real. I hope it's
real.
It's real?
All right, that's the internet and then a live studio. It's fact at this point. When you get both of those, somebody's walking by.
Really? Okay.
Keep an eye out at BeautyCon, man, for some man rompers.
There might be a few man rompers. Yeah, hitting the line summer 2017 man rompers, baby.
Yeah, man, you're gonna get in that flight back on Sunday. And Sunday's gonna come. Wait, Sammy, we gotta talk about rompers, man. We gotta get some Wilk rompers going.
I'm out.
That's the line. Turtlenecks you'll figure out, but rompers, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a little stretch. I don't know about all that.
You know, you said we'll figure it out, and that's kind of been, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of a mantra throughout your career thus far is kind of figuring it out. I was reading an interview you did a while back, I think it was Billboard, and you were talking about how in the early days, they were talking about particularly your music, that there were people that wanted you to sound a certain way or be a certain thing, and you kind of recognized that early on. And I want you to talk a little bit about kind of breaking free from that and finding your sound and figuring you out and what that was like.
Yeah. So like beginning of 26, I mean, I, from the start, I feel like I was kind of like thrown into this. Mm-hmm. And so like it was, like you said, it was figuring it out from the get-go. Yeah. And so it was kind of just like I was in a place where it was like the industry's tough, so you don't know who to trust, especially in LA. So like beginning of 2016, I feel like everybody was just kind of like pulling at me and like, yo, no, this is the right thing to do. But then the other person's like, nah, dude, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, come with me, like, let's do this. And so it was just like annoying, and like I got to a point where I was just like like in a very confused state. Yeah. And it like was terrible. Like it was just like annoying. It was like, you know, there's ups and downs everywhere, and everyone's got those ups and downs. And that was like 2016 was a long year of like, what the hell am I doing? Kind of like I don't even know what's right now. So.
Now, is this for you in your career as a whole, or specifically about trying to get that record out last year?
Majority, it was just about the music. Yeah. And like I loved the music, but it was like I got to a point where I couldn't even perfect it to the way I wanted to because I had so many people in my ear telling me what they thought was right when I really don't care what they're saying. Yeah. So yeah, it was like a long 2016 of like kind of confusion and like just. It's like literally pure confusion. And so yeah, early this year, I met somebody that really kind of like sat me down and was like, dude, you need to just like meditate your ideas, think about your ideas, and like really like roll it out. And so I've really like got to a point where like I am trusting myself more. Yeah. And so now I'm like to a point where I'm happy about my music that I'm making, and it's like good music. It's very like it's much more elevated. Yeah. So yeah,
that's a great point to be at as an artist. I think to really be able to create stuff that people are going to connect to, you got to be able to trust yourself and know what your voice is and know what you want to do and follow your sound. The last album, there's dance and there's pop in there, but there's a strong reggae influence for sure. And I think that's what a lot of people connect with. One, was that a sound or something that was met with resistance when you were trying to make this record, where there were people like, all right, that's fun, do that for a track, but that shouldn't be who you are, and you really wanted to chase that? Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of. Because like I grew up listening to like strictly reggae music, so I came out doing like. So I came like when I first came out, it was like I was rapping, and I'm not a rapper, and I found that out very quickly. I was just like, oh, this is trash. Like looking back, I'm just like, so I was like, I want to figure out, like I really want to spend some time in the studio and like really figure out where I want to make this. And it just like always went back to reggae, I would always tell this producer, I'd be like, nah, bro, add this in, but it's very hard to find a producer that like on the creative level, if like when I'm speaking the words, because like they're the ones that are touching the buttons. Yeah. But I'm just trying to like explain what I want to hear. It's tough to get somebody that gets what you're trying to say, because usually it goes like way too pop, and I'm like, bro.
Yeah, that's the producer. I think now more so than in years past, people, especially with how much you can see behind the scenes now, the producer is so important to the project. It's like the other half for individual artists, for a band. They're another member of that sound in that room. So you got to find a great match.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm finally to a point. I've moved around a few times with different producers, and I'm to a point where like the two dudes I work with are awesome. So yeah, the music's getting sexy. For all you guys, it's getting sexy. It's getting matured.
Well, I mean, the last one was great. The last album.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But so you're working on some new stuff. It's getting sexy. You're excited about it.
Very excited.
Can you tease a little bit? What can we expect? Obviously, that reggae sound is still there. Are you messing around with some new sounds? Are you messing?
Yeah,
around with
absolutely. I think it's just a more like I was saying, it's more mature, and I'm kind of showing more of my vulnerable side. And because I feel like that really brings your emotions out, and like I said, 2016 was like a long year of like ups and downs and left and right, whatever. So it's a much more, I kind of like speak my heart out a little more, and it's like more emotional, and it's kind of it's cool. I love this music because it really like you can tell what I was going through and you understand it, but there's still like there's good vibes, but I just show more vulnerable side of me, and I think that's kind of key sometimes for like. Especially to like relate with people, is to explain what you were going through. Well,
I think it's also kind of a very important part of your success, man, is that your openness, your vulnerability, your honesty, your positive message, all that sort of stuff is what has resonated with people and why they connected and why they follow. Is there a date, a month, a ballpark? When can we expect to hear something? What do you?
Yeah. I'm saying like the next like month I'm trying to drop at least a song. Yeah.
Hear that?
Super soon.
That's exciting.
Yeah, cause especially being an artist, when you're a creative, you like try to perfect your music and and I could keep perfecting it for like months on end. And I'm kind of to a point where I'm like, all right, I just need to like release it and move on, and just give them what they want. Like, you know, they want to hear music, and I have to give them the music. So yeah, like I'm thinking like a month.
That's exciting. That's really exciting, man. You know, every time as an artist, when you release a new project or when you tour or something, you learn every day that you're going on and creating. And I'm wondering, what are some of the things you learned, not just in making the last record, but in touring around, that you're bringing to the next phase, into the next part of the process that you brought to this record that's coming, and maybe that you're going to bring to your live show, because I imagine you're going to tour the new music.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, a big thing about the touring is I love playing with a live band. And so I'm gonna continue to try to play with my live band. And yeah, like I don't know, we'll see what happens. It's like the music's a different sound, but it still has the island feel. Yeah. It's not as reggae, just because it's more organic to myself. Like I'm not like a huge reggae star, so it's definitely more organic to me. But no, like the biggest thing is I want to carry over the band and kind of just vibe with people, honestly.
Yeah. What's how big a band are you looking to bring out there? How many guys you need on stage?
I got my 4 people.
You got your 4 people.
They're my people.
Yeah.
I got Diana on the keys. I got Seabass on the bass guitar. I got Jamal on the drums, and I got Gabe on the guitar. And they're like my homies. Like we kick it all the time. We're in the studio all the time.
I was gonna say, do any of them appear on the record? Are they playing on the record?
Oh yeah. A lot of it is just us like in the studio kicking it. Because like my drummer is a super good producer. Yeah. So yeah, and they're just like awesome people, and they're from all over the world. So it's like we kind of bring a bunch of different sounds of music into one. So yeah, it's fun. It's just fun creating.
The record you had dropped last year, man, when you walked in, that was your first like full like long release, right?
Yep.
So I imagine when you walked into that studio, did a lot of those songs already exist in your head before you got there, or did a lot of the writing take place in the studio?
A lot of it's in the studio.
Yeah.
I kind of get in the zone, have a few drinks or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I go in there and I really kind of freestyle melodies, and then just sit and write.
Has that process changed at all going into the new record now?
It depends. Like sometimes I'll be walking down the streets, and like a certain melody will come in my head, and I'll go to my voice memo and just like sing or hum it in my phone. Just so when I go back, then I'll go to my producer and be like, "Yo, build something around this," and I'll let him hear it, and they'll build around that. So yeah, there's a bunch of different ways to write, and it's kind of just like in the mood you're in or whatever it may be. But yeah, it stays very similar to how the last record was.
Very cool. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
That's right.
You had some pretty awesome collabs on the last record too. Do you got any guest artists you're bringing in? Are you still holding that a secret, or?
I mean, I'm making music with a lot of different people. I mean, me and Jack are always working, and
that was gonna be my next question.
Yeah. And like Sammy Adams, I work with him. I don't know if you guys know Sammy. I'm always in the studio with different people. So yeah, expect some awesome collabs. I got you.
Very exciting. We're going to go to audience Q&A in just a second. We've got like 1 minute left, so get your questions ready. All right, we'll get some microphones out there.
Beautiful.
The last thing I wanted to ask you, man, maybe kind of a silly question, but as we touched on, you're known for putting that positive vibe out into the world and being a pretty relaxed dude. So I wonder, were you always that way, or did you sort of start to develop that outlook as you started to become this internet personality, this musician, this fashion mogul? As you started to become the person you are, did you see a need in the world for positivity, or were you always just a positive guy?
I think that's a mom question.
Mom?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Do we want?
I'm kidding. No, I think from growing up, I was kind of always just like a laid back dude. Very positive like throughout, but like when I got to this point, and I have the platform I do have, like it just kind of became more apparent. I was more conscious about it, and just spreading like people need the love now. Like there's too much hate going on in the world, so like it was much more conscious about it. My girl right there. So yeah, I mean it just came more conscious. It was like a more conscious effort, but I think it was like kind of it's not like it's a facade. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I think it works is because it's legit and it feels real because it is real, man. You exude 100%. It everywhere. Even when we were just talking in the green room, you were just there were no cameras back there. You had no reason to be anything but who you were, and you were a really nice, welcoming, warm dude. So like it reads, man.
Thank you.
Of course. We're gonna open it up for audience Q&A. So let's go ahead and take our first question. I believe it's right over here.
Hi.
What's up?
So since you've been to Jamaica, did you inspire you more with your music in the next album? And did you find you learned more of the culture of the reggae?
Yeah. First of all, Jamaica is an amazing place. I loved it. I loved it. You guys got that going on. No, Jamaica is an amazing place, and it did just being in the culture and like hanging with the people, eating the food, whatever it may be, taught me a lot about like the world, about myself. So yeah, like I think I definitely carried over a lot of the stuff that goes on in that culture. More just in my life, I feel like it made me a better person going over there. So yeah, a lot of it carries over, and like even being in the studio with Kamani Marley, like just seeing, there we go, baby. Just seeing how he works, it like inspired me to like do stuff, because he's literally in the studio like losing himself, like just like doing whatever it is. And so like I get to the point where I'm just like, I try to get in the booth and just like completely forget that I'm living and just like throw random ideas out. So just yeah, being over there just really inspired me on like every level, basically.
Awesome, thank you. Next question is right here.
Hi, Sammy.
Hello.
I'm Asia.
What's up?
So I was just wondering, like, where did you pull, like, if there, okay, I know you talked about, like, how you got your reggae feel.
Yeah.
But are there, like, any main inspiration for, like, any people that bring that out, like, artists that you listen to?
Yeah. Well, growing up, I went to, good question. Growing up, I went to a lot of concerts because my sister's boyfriend was in a reggae band. And he kind of, like, took me under his wing. And I went to a lot of, like, Revolution, Iration concerts, The Movement, Soja, Ziggy Marley. Like, I went to concerts, like, because I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. There's not a whole lot to do, you know? So I would, like, go to concerts literally, like, every weekend. And it was always, like, a reggae concert. So it was kind of just, like, all of it is kind of, like, hardwired in my brain. And so, like, just in the studio, like, the melodies they were singing, I was telling my mom about that. The melodies that I heard just from, like, going to the concerts are, like, hardwired in my brain. So, like, when I'm in the studio, like, reggae melodies come out. But, yeah.
That's crazy.
I think I answered your question.
It's crazy because I knew, obviously, with it being such a strong influence, you were exposed to it when you were young, but I never would have imagined or assumed Omaha, Nebraska to have such a vibrant reggae scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Omaha, Nebraska is just a big, like, for bands, it's a
Yeah.
really good spot to, like, when you're crossing the country on a tour. And so, literally, like, everyone goes through there, and I don't know, like, I just liked reggae after. I was just
Pretty awesome.
yeah.
That's just what you connected with.
That's exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Our next question is going to come from right here in the front.
Hi,
Hello,
I'm
darling.
Giselle.
What's up?
My question is, what are you trying to achieve with the Wilk Project?
Yeah, good question. The Wilk Project, there's a long story, or I could do a short story, but I'll just give you a little.
Who give us the medium? Because I was going to
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
about it too, but I wanted to get to the audience.
Cool, yeah.
Talk about it.
So the Wilk Project, really, I thought about it when I went to Malawi, Africa, was that 2 years ago now? And it was just like a time where I was like hanging out with these kids in Malawi, and they're dirt poor, like they got nothing over there, and they're playing, soccer with a ping pong ball, and they're like happy, and I'm over here in LA like worried about the fact that my friends have a car and I'm still Ubering, and I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. Like I have a bigger purpose, and so about the Wilk Project, it's more of a lifestyle for me, like. Because I meditate now, and so I try to bring the light out in yourself before you can spread the light on other people, and that's like really what I want you guys to understand, is to find the light within yourself. So like you're following the Wilk Project just if you're like trying to be happy one day, like if you have been sad lately, just like try to get happy. But on the bigger scale, I want to go to I'm going to Sierra Leone this summer, and I'm helping building a studio, and I want to like teach creative arts in these schools that. Like their curriculum is usually just like, this is right, this is wrong. Yeah. And so I want to like help teach music and like teach them creative stuff, like write poems or whatever it is. So that's like the bigger scale. It's just like I want to go help teach creative arts. And with the Wilk Project, it kind of just helps that out.
So that's one of the big projects right now.
Yeah.
The major focus would be teaching and education.
Yes.
That's pretty incredible, man.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
You should
really
be. That's
cool.
awesome. I believe we have time for one more question, and it's going to be, perfect.
Hi.
What's up?
I love you. Second. My question is, I know you started when you were really young, and we all have these bursting and conflicting ideas. Do you believe those conflicting ideas transitioned into like ideas of while you were making your music?
That was a confusing question, I think.
Okay.
She used a lot of big words for a second.
My fault.
No.
You see, when you start out young, we have a lot of ideas on how we should be, how we want to be. Do you think that those type of ideas like changed into your music of how you want it to be, or how you want other people for it to be? If that makes sense.
I think I get it. So, so in my music, you're saying when I first came out, it was really like I wasn't really trying to be anyone. I just had an idea of like, yo, like I just like stepped in the studio and I was like, yo, I'm gonna just see what happens. And I wasn't like worried about what other people thought at first. I was just like, I think this is tight. And when I had an idea, I would do it. And yeah, like, is that kind of
Yeah, no, it answers it perfectly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Was it through that process that you started to realize how you had to kind of take the reins and be the sort of master of your own destiny? Because as you were like, well, I thought this was dope, but like this dude's telling me I can't do this or I shouldn't do that. Is that when you started to see sort of like the matrix code behind it and you were like, oh, I see what I got to do now?
Absolutely. Yeah, I got to a point where I was like, I really can't trust anyone but myself.
Yeah.
And like the really close to my family behind me or whatever. But no, I got to a point where I was like, now I got to plan the process, see the vision, make it happen, and I can only trust myself. So it got to a point where I was like, I mean, I'll take your opinion, but I won't necessarily soak it in and like follow through with that. But yeah, I just got to like trust myself.
Awesome. Well, Sammy, we could do this all day, but regrettably we're out of time, man, so I'm going to have to say goodbye. I want to thank everybody for your questions. You guys are an awesome audience.
Thank you,
You're going to be at BeautyCon tomorrow.
Yeah, BeautyCon tomorrow. I got a performance after. I think that's open to the public. I'm not really sure. But I got a performance and the booth. If you guys are coming, stop by the booth.
We've got new music coming in about a month, maybe, give or take.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And keep an eye for the Wilk Project. Keep an eye on your website and all that sort of stuff. People can get involved. Sammy, thank you so much for being here. One more time. Sammy Wilk, everybody. Come on now.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. You guys are awesome.